Nau mai, hoki mai, and welcome to another episode of our Mind to Mauri podcast with Tahi Spinks of Taumauri me Tahi. Thanks to our awesome sponsors BC More and Number One Electrical for bringing you this episode. Kia ora te whānau, welcome back to another episode called Tahi Toku Ingoa, and today I'm flying solo, and I just wanted to introduce you to a few little changes that we're making. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll notice that it's videoed. Without going too elaborate on explaining that one, but teamed up with our friends here at BC More, and they've got this cool little studio space where we can do a lot more and gain a lot more for potential sponsors to get behind this and really make this something that we can use to build more tools for people and get it out to our listeners, our viewers. But as always, I just want to start with slowing down and taking a nice long breath and noticing all those thoughts racing around your mind. Thoughts of the past that aren't happening anymore. Thoughts of the future that haven't happened yet. And just allow those thoughts to quieten down so that you can hear and take in everything that this podcast has to offer. So yeah, today I wanted to just touch on some of the changes that we're making. We're trying to move this a little bit towards mental health in the trades, as we know that this is an issue going on out there. The COVID pandemic has been and almost gone. It's almost like a thing of the past. I know there's still people out there with it and it's still affecting some people. But the mental health pandemic that it's left behind, not that it wasn't around before it, but I feel it's grown a lot throughout the pandemic. A lot of people got stuck at home and had to really sit with themselves. Me personally, I had to sit with myself. I couldn't go to work and just distract myself with work. So I had to really think about where I was at. Obviously, you've all heard that I lost baby with my partner at the time. We lost baby just before the first lockdown. So that made it even more intense for me. The space I live in now, everything happens for a reason, and I can see that reason now, and the gifts that it gave me, I'm now wanting to share with as many people as possible so we can turn these stats on their head. Personally, been affected by suicide and serious mental health issues of those that have even attempted or just been in a really, really dark place. And being in the trades myself, being in the mining industry myself, it's happened to a lot of people close to me. And so that's where my first-hand experience lies mostly. Obviously there's friends and whānau as well, but the attention that's really starting to show up for me and be drawn towards me is in the trades. Apprentices, when apprentices come on board, Number One Electrical, they become part of our whānau, and we really take them in and take them on as our own. So I find it a real personal responsibility to make sure that every aspect of their life is good and they're looked after in every sense of the holistic view of who they are, who we are as a company, because we're only as strong as the people that work for us. Obviously, I used to think I had to do everything myself. These days I realise that I can't do it without a team, and if any of that team has anything going on outside of work or even inside of work, they're always encouraged to speak up and really share, whether they want to share or whether they want to talk, whether they want to just go sit down and have a lunch or a drink with someone else in the team and talk about what's going on for them. And if they're struggling, there's ways and means and people that we can put them in touch with. obviously now working as Taumauri me tahi, working as a coach and using these tools, it gives me a lot more tools that I can personally help them with. I feel though that we have such a solid whānau feel to our business that these issues aren't showing up like they used to. And now I'm starting to realise that this isn't across the board. Not everyone's treating their staff the way that we do, and therefore they have issues that are popping up. And sometimes, there's a lot of business owners, like where I was too, that these issues are showing up for them. And whoever it is that needs to speak up, totally encourage business owners to speak up as well. Obviously, you can't go to your boss, but you're carrying the pressure of all your team. You're worrying about everyone getting paid. I know for myself personally, when COVID hit, I think we had 12 staff on the books. And then I equated that out to 48 people relying on the business to keep paying them because of their families that it was supporting as well. So I know what that weight feels like. And if I hadn't have got the help I did at the time, I don't know where that would have led me. So that's why I'm so passionate about helping not just the young people in the trades, but everyone holistically across the board. There's a lot of experience out there. There's a lot of tools popping up. However, having gone through the system with one of my children recently, I know that the wait times are long. And even if you can afford to go privately, the wait time is still long. It's not quite as long, but it is long. So through doing this podcast and hopefully getting some really good sponsors behind it, some really good people behind it, we can create more tools. We can create a suite of tools that people can access at any level of what their budget can afford. Whether it's a corporate company and they just want to give tools out to their whole team, or whether it's an individual looking for it, depending on where you sit in the industry and where your budget is. My vision is to have a tool for everyone, and that's why we've recently released our audio book with a workbook. So you print the workbook out and then you listen to the audio each day and follow the guidance in the audio book and work your way through that book. It's something that you can do in the privacy of your own home, because I'm noticing that most of the people that really need this the most have gone to a point or got so far down the track that they can't talk about it, they can't open up, they won't go on a Zoom call. So the shift to delivering something at a low price point that they can do in the comfort of their own home, and just start opening up that space and guiding themselves through it until they feel okay to reach out or talk to someone else. And that's just our first audio book. That's entry level. It's a 7-day reset. From there, we want to create a lot more of these and have it for different levels of where people are at, different levels of what stage or what level in the business you are, whether you're the apprentice coming in, whether you're possibly for female apprentices coming in, just whatever it is that starts showing up. We want to have the tools and the backing behind us so that we can create these tools and really make a difference out there. I don't want to just sit here and talk to people about mental health and share stories. I want to actually do something about it, because there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of stats being thrown around, but who's actually doing something? There's some really cool people out there that are, as individuals, as small groups, that have started this shift, and I realised that I need to get on board and I need to do what I can to give back to everyone. I don't want it stuck in a box and be just for trades. I don't want it to be just for Maori. I don't want it to be just for anyone. My philosophy is always nobody gets left behind. If you're struggling, you're struggling. If you're even starting your way into a spiral and you need something, I want to be there and have a tool for anyone that they can grab a hold of in that moment. not waiting for 6, 8, 10 weeks, or as the case is, I'm hearing 12 to 24 months in the public system to get some help. You need a tool when you're there, something that can just start that journey or at least tide you over until you get the professional help you need. Luckily enough, I had the support of my partner and good whānau support around when I was going through stuff with my young fella, and I had a lot of tools on board to help me get through that and help stay on track. And I realise not everyone has that. So I really I'm really passionate about this, and I'm really passionate about getting it out there and getting more resources to you, the listener, and to you, the other listener that might be thinking about getting behind some of this stuff. Please jump on board. It won't be money just thrown down the drain. It won't be thrown into print media. You'll get some assets that will come with it, so that you've got some marketing tools in this space as well. But the best thing of all, you're putting it in a good space. You're helping people. I know all these big companies all have values. They all have their values, but they're no good if they're on a sheet of paper at the bottom drawer of the filing cabinet. Bring those values to the top of the drawer and get behind something that can make a difference, and you'll get something back, because that's how we operate. We don't take to give, we exchange energy. We exchange, if you give something to us, we give something back to you for you to use, and then we can pass that on to make a difference. And there's only going to be limited people that can get behind this. We're only going to have one sponsor per line of work, line of trade. So yeah, get on board early, and you can be that person making a difference. You can go to sleep at night knowing that you've made a difference today. And if you've got other tools that you'd like to share, if you'd like to jump on a podcast and, put it out there, you may be a tradie out there that's been through this, encourage you to reach out to us and come along to the studio here at Be Seen More with my man Todd here, and we'll make something epic. If you can't get here to Nelson, we can jump on the Zoom screen behind me and we can talk that way. But don't find a reason not to do it. Find a reason to do it, because we need you, and the people listening to this podcast need you. So yeah, don't wait. Get on board. Nō reira, ko motu tēnei kōrero o tēnei wā. This concludes another kōrero for this time. Visit our website taumaurimetahi.com or click on the link in the show notes to sign up to our next free bi-monthly webinar. And don't forget to follow Taumauri Metahi on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with all the exciting offers we have coming your way. Noho ora mai.